All right, good evening and welcome everyone to the Health Professional webinar, Doctors Speak Out. My name is Gina Moran and I will be your host this evening. So tonight we are going to hear from 5 successful health professionals who have chosen to harness the power of what I believe is the greatest scientific achievement in the health science arena and the company behind the production and stabilization of redox signaling molecules. Now, redox signaling molecules are native molecules that are made in the human body, but they've really only just been discovered a little over 2 decades ago as the signaling molecules that communicate with 75 trillion cells in the body. These molecules are responsible for detecting damaged cells and then signaling those cells to repair, replace themselves quickly, as well as activating and multiplying our body's antioxidants to support the immune system to protect and defend. Now, today there are over 17,000 studies on PubMed.gov on redox signaling, and Torrent Laboratories has just recently published 5 genetic studies proving that these molecules, these 16 bioactive redox signaling molecules, turn on genes in 5 major areas, including cardiovascular health and inflammatory response, digestive issues, hormonal balance, and immune support. So it's no wonder that the Huffington Post has now stated that ASEA is the #4 emerging science in the world today. So with that, I've asked each of our panelists just to share with us when ASEA came into their life, how it has impacted their lifestyle, their time freedom, and their finances by developing residual income, and also why they would choose to share ASEA and recommend ASEA as the business model to people who are desiring improved health, lifestyle, people who want to create additional income through residual income with the world's first and only cellular health company who has successfully produced and stabilized redox signaling molecules. So with that, we're going to go to Dr. David Silverman first, who was board certified in foot surgery, primary podiatric medicine, and podiatric orthopedics. He's also owned and ran his own practice and certified ambulatory surgery center for many, many years. He's also been married to his beautiful wife, Wendy. They have 3 children, and they live just outside of the Washington, D.C. area. So with that, Dr. Silverman.
Hi, Gina. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Real happy to be here. And I think this is great because I think people like to hear from doctors what they've seen with this product. And I know we're not focusing on the product aspect of this. We're focusing more on the opportunity. I just want to state that I think most physicians that look at this initially, it sounds a little too good to be true. But it's a breakthrough, and I thought it was too good to be true. But my father had a very grave prostate issue when my friend brought it to me. So I was one of those people, like maybe some more of the practitioners here, looked at it first for personal reasons, for themselves, for health issues, for anti-aging, for athletic performance, whatever. But the product validated itself, and it's patented, and it is a breakthrough. And one of the fastest ways if someone's new to validate this, take the gel version of it, of the drink, gel version. Go find 10 people who are hurting somewhere. It could be you, your colleagues, could be anybody who are hurting. Ask them to rate their discomfort on a scale of 1 to 10 and give you 10 minutes. Put this on 3 times in 5 minutes and you watch what happens. And you'll make your own conclusions because it's not going to be 1 or 2 people that are ecstatic. It's going to be, well, you'll see. But I will tell you from the business perspective of this, my initial reason was my father. Then I looked at the opportunity, and as a practitioner, and I sold my practice several years ago, but practicing, it's the same as any type of job these days. If you're a doctor, if the golden years are gone, and basically you better love what you do because the lifestyle is not going to be great in medicine anymore unless you're an out-of-pocket type of practice generally. Managed care has changed everything, headaches, reimbursements, all of it. And you're basically trading time for money, whether you're a doctor or an attorney or someone on an assembly line. And I went into medicine because I liked helping people. I wanted to make a difference. I'm psychologically unemployable. I can't bear the thought of having someone tell me what to do. My wife is fine, but I don't want a boss telling me what to do. I wanted a good lifestyle, and I had the money, and I had satisfaction of liking what I did, but I had no time freedom. And so this business provides time freedom, and the way that you gain this incredible residual income, which can be 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever you want, comes by helping people. And that's why I went into medicine. How it's impacted my lifestyle. Hey, we all have residual bills. I'll tell you, most doctors don't have residual income, and most anybody doesn't have residual income. And it is so nice. It's so nice to focus on helping people and making them aware of something that they're going to find out about anyway. I mean, that's a fact. You put this on 10 people who are hurting, you will see this is very self-evident. And you have several people drinking this for 90 days, and you'll see amazing things happen. I shot a little video, whyitspossible.com, that explains how it works simply. But the income, the residual income that's deposited into your bank account every week, every Thursday, is remarkable because it frees you up. We're at our place in Florida right now. I can stay here as long as I want. I couldn't do that as a doctor. I couldn't take off more than a week. My practice could be going down. Doctors referring to different practitioners and losing patients and losing money, and having the expense of an office running while I wasn't even there with no income coming in. Time freedom is amazing. The lack of stress is amazing. And it all comes from helping people. And so the reason I'd recommend this company, and network marketing I recommend if it meets certain criteria, is we have an incredible product that is literally a breakthrough for humanity. It's patented. No one else has it, right? It's run by really good people. I wanted to meet, I've done network marketing. That's how I sold my practice when I was 39, network marketing, but I did not check the people out as well as I should have, the people running the company. And I should have checked the integrity and met them. This time I did. I went to meet them. So you've got product, patents, people, sense of purpose. This is a breakthrough for humanity, and almost bought by a pharmaceutical company. You know, you want to see something amazing, go to amazingmolecules.com, amazingmolecules.com, and watch the Genesis video, and you'll see that this is something very different. This is not some makeup MLM, and nothing wrong with those, okay? But it's not pots and pans. It's not some berry that you can buy at the store. This is patented, and it's a breakthrough for humanity. And last, the timing. I mean, this company's almost 10 years old. There's no more risk in this opportunity. 90% of companies are gone by their 5th year. This company was profitable in the first year, and it's grown revenue every single year, and now it's going into momentum. We're now in January of 2019. It's about 10 years old, and we inched up to 84 million in 2017. In 2018, we did 125 million. So for entrepreneurial people who are struggling financially, settling in life, which is pretty much everybody, settling with too little money, too little time freedom, too little fun, calling Wednesday hump day. That's the saddest thing I can think of, that most people are just dying to get to the weekend, just trying to get through 5 days of their life, get to the weekend. For people who want more, check out the opportunity side of this very, very carefully. Product is, to me, it's much more important than the opportunity. This is something mankind needs badly, and and mankind is getting it now. But the opportunity, the product dwarfs the opportunity as far as importance as a doctor, as I'm concerned. But for people who are struggling or settling, Gina, this opportunity is a godsend and a lifeline.
David, thank you so much for sharing your personal experience with us with redox signaling molecules and this amazing company, ASEA. Really appreciate your time this evening. So next we're going to move on to Dr. Maureen Hayes, MD from Galveston, Texas. Maureen is board certified anesthesiologist and pain management specialist, who's practiced medicine for 20 years and now devotes her time teaching others about the benefits of redox signaling molecules. Also, Dr. Hayes is a member of the ASEA Medical Professional Board. So, Dr. Maureen, we're excited to hear from you.
Thanks, Gina. Thanks for having me on. And I should say a number of the doctors on this panel are part of the medical board. And I love what David said. I agree with everything. It's interesting how many of us got involved for a personal reason. When I was introduced to ASEA the first time, I didn't listen. My mother was deathly ill, and somebody had brought it to my attention, thought that it would perhaps help her. And when I looked at the research that they sent me, or the emails that they sent me, and it said it was made from salt water, I dismissed it. I deleted the emails. I was pretty arrogant about it. And then it came back around about 6 months later. A friend of mine, sorry, these dings are coming in. A friend of mine had left a company that I had been involved with. And when I asked him, because he was very, very successful there, I said, why would you do that? And he said, I came across something revolutionary. And I said, what is it? And when he told me that it was the redox molecules made from salt water, I was like, you got to be kidding me. And he said, no, you need to look at some of the research. Interestingly, my husband, who was also a physician, had just come back from Iraq. He was in the military as well. And he had been diagnosed as well with a life-threatening illness, which had been treated. So he was disease-free, but the treatment of the disease left him very compromised. He went from being an athlete able to run 8-10 miles a day to literally using oxygen while he watched TV. Getting up and walking across the room and pulling open the refrigerator was like a major workout for him. So our lives, he was in his late 50s, and our lives as we knew it were pretty much over. I had already taken a leave of absence from medicine because our our city had been hit by a hurricane, and our hospital had been closed for 6 months, and my son's school had not done well. You know, half of the teachers didn't come back, a lot of the students didn't come back, and so I was looking into other ways to practice medicine. I didn't want to have to commute from Galveston Island, where I live, into Houston. And so at the time that this came into our lives, and I really just wanted the product for my husband. You know, I wasn't looking for business. I didn't want to share it with other people. I didn't want to go to meetings or learn secret handshakes or anything like that. I really just wanted my husband to get his health back. And I was in training for something called age management medicine, which is helping people to age more gracefully so that you get into your 80s and 90s, and instead of being in a wheelchair or a nursing home, you're still out playing golf and hiking and climbing mountains and doing all the things that we love to do. What was interesting is I was at one of the conferences, and one of the doctors was talking about mitochondria and VO2 max, ventilatory threshold, and things that I had heard through the research with ASEA. And I went up to him and I said, have you ever heard of redox signaling molecules? And he said, pool water? And I was like, yes, ASEA? And he said, yes, I take it and I recommend it to all my patients. And my husband, my whole family had been on this product for about 6 months. And I remember running back to my hotel room to call my husband and say, I think this stuff might be legitimate. There's other doctors using it. And it's amazing because we had started to get the benefit of it. But back then, we didn't have as much research as we did now. Even though it was a new branch of science, at that point, there were only maybe 5,000 or 6,000 references on PubMed, but I was pretty amazed that there were. And actually, I was surprised because my medical school, the Medical University of South Carolina, had gotten a $10.5 million COBRA grant, NIH grant, to study redox molecules in a number of different conditions in the body, the native molecules. So all of this came together, and I thought, you know, I was going through my certification for age management. And if you're not familiar with that, that's concierge medicine. So it's really just for people who can afford it. It costs the patient about $15,000 a year. And as a fellow of that, I was going to have to find 25 patients who were willing to pay that amount of money in order to have optimal health. And one of our teachers had said, you know, you can have $1 million practice with this in 3 to 5 years. And I sat there and I thought, you know, I had just started with ASEA, and I thought, you know, from what I understand, you can have $1 million business in ASEA in 3 to 5 years, helping many more people who can afford $150 a month that can afford $15,000 a year. And I came home from that training, and much to my husband's chagrin, I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going into age management medicine. I'm going to teach people about redox signaling. And it's the best decision I ever made. Not only does my husband have his health back, as do many other members of our family. My husband's off his oxygen, except for when he flies. And we've been able to touch the lives of thousands of people all over the world and talk about lifestyle. Until 2 years ago, I've traveled abroad, but I had never been to London. Now I've been there 4 times in the last couple of years and been all over Europe, have a team over there, have a team growing in Asia. I love to travel. This has given me the time and money freedom, financial freedom to be able to do that. And the resources to be able to share this with the people that I love. All my brothers and sisters went over to Europe together last year. We had a blast. And I love it. What I don't love is that members of my family still have to work. My husband's still working. I'm begging him to retire so we can do more together. So take a look at this. You can change people's lives. This is, as a physician and a pain doctor who has written thousands of prescriptions, all of which have had some side effect or some downside, all came with a list of warnings. This is the most powerful thing I've ever had my hands on, and it's totally safe. It's non-toxic. So here is something so powerful, so new. People have not heard of it. We can change thousands, hundreds of thousands of people's lives, and you'll be rewarded to do it. I've always made a great living by helping other people have a good quality of health and a good quality of life, and that's what we're doing with ASEA. So I hope you'll join us.
Maureen, thank you so much. It sounds like you just need to share this business opportunity with a few more friends so you have more people to go play with.
That's right, and I'm doing it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time this evening. We really appreciate you. Next, we have the pleasure of hearing from Dr. Walker. Dr. Walker is an MD. His professional credentials include medical board certification in internal medicine as well as emergency medicine, I believe, for almost the past 40 years now. In addition, he has a master's degree in preventative medicine and environmental health. He has been a very successful entrepreneur on several different fields and is an accomplished high-altitude mountaineer, having climbed several of the world's highest peaks, including Mount Everest. His beautiful wife, Nancy, works side by side with him in their very successful ASEA business. So, Dr. Walker, we're turning it over to you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. When Gina asked me to answer the question about where was my life 6.5 years ago, I wasn't really sure I wanted to revisit that period in my life. I was financially challenged more than physically. I was working full-time in the ER. In fact, I was working full-time plus. I was putting in 50 or 60 hours a week. And I was starting to feel the stress of that. But before I started this business, I also really wanted to make sure that the technology was as real, as exciting as I thought it was. So I really checked out the science and checked that out, or I wouldn't be sitting here tonight talking to you. I've always looked for things that were new and different and things that could have an impact on my life and those that I worked with. So these technologies are definitely validated. I was 64 years old at the time. I was wearing out. I was putting in all of those hours. More than a few of those were nights and weekends. And I was doing that because we had had some unanticipated financial obligations that had gone in the wrong direction. I'm sure there may be some others out there who've had that experience. And when I should have been looking forward to retiring, I was looking forward to a lot of hours for a number of years before I could ever even think of cutting back. Look, I've never minded working hard. What I've minded for years is that whether you're an excellent physician, and I always thought that I did a pretty good job, or whether you were only an average or mediocre physician, we all got paid the same because what we got paid was determined by some insurance company, not by our peers. And so when I first heard about residual income, getting paid over and over again for work you'd done in the past, quite frankly, I thought that that was a pipe dream because I didn't think that as a doctor I would ever be able to qualify for something like that. I was starting to realize that I was simply a highly paid hourly employee. And that was a little disturbing to me because I thought that I was more special than that. Looking back, I really didn't have time to start up a new business, not a conventional one anyway. I'd done that before. I had started 3 urgent care walk-in clinics. I thought that would be my entrepreneurial endeavor where I could leverage my time and earn some money that I didn't have to be there physically present to earn it. But what I'd found out was I had simply created another job. I generated lots of cash flow to pay my employees, But at the end of the month, oftentimes there wasn't any money left to pay me. So my first introduction to business outside of the hospital was not a very pleasant one. It didn't give me the advantages of leverage and residual that I was looking for. And so I was a rather frustrated entrepreneur. But when I first saw the ASEA business model, and that was connected to this incredible technology that I had already determined was a one-of-a-kind, unbelievable technology and could help pretty much everybody on the planet Earth. And you've heard plenty of that. I'm not going to go into any more details about the products or the technology. There's plenty of information out there about that. But I got really excited because what I realized was that here was my opportunity as a hospital-based ER doc to develop a residual income source. And I wondered really at the time, could a 30-plus year ER doc at age 64 create a big-time second career in network marketing? And the answer has been a huge yes. And just like my medical career, I was doing it by bettering people's lives and being a force for good in the world. I was going to make a difference far beyond what I could in an individual practice in the emergency room, because this way I could leverage my time and reach a whole lot more people. You know, by introducing some key people and referring some people to this technology that I thought would have great improvement in their health, I knew that this was going to take off. But I never really anticipated how quickly or how impressively it would take off, because in a matter of months, I was no longer having to work 50 or 60 hours in the ER, and I was able pretty quickly to eliminate those nights and weekends and get back to working a more normal daytime 12-hour shift, if you consider 12-hour shifts normal. And as the leverage of building a team using an existing team got some traction, the residual income started to become a bigger and bigger part of my total weekly and monthly income. And that really got me excited because it really validated that what I had learned about this business model in the beginning was actually true. And I was documenting it because I was living that experiment, so to speak. You know, I now had choices. I now had control of my time, how and where to spend it and who to spend it with. You know, I was out of the weekends, I was out of the nights, and now I was starting to be able to cut back on the days as well. You know, I used to climb mountains all over the world, but then I had to come home and pay for it. And I had to pay for it with extra hours of work. I hadn't done any of that for a while. And in fact, my wife and I was working nights, she was working days, and we really rarely saw each other. How things have changed over the last 6 years. No more nights and weekends, way less stress around money, way less stress around financial security and that retirement that I was looking so anxiously for. I remember talking with a group of ASEA associates about this, that once I had been in ASEA for a year and a half, I got to spend my first Thanksgiving vacation at home with the family, all 3 days of it. And I had not been able to do that for 30 some years because I always got stuck working part of it in the emergency room. As for recommending this to other medical professionals and everyone else, I would only ask, why not you? Because you can have the same benefits of this awesome product and you can achieve the same benefits of this business model if you're so inclined. It gives you a very effective tool to help others in your medical practice, but just others in general, and especially people who are very sick. You can add substantially to your income just by recommending and referring this product and this business opportunity to others. So it's all about referring and recommending. With the advantages of leverage and residual income generation, you can literally get your life back. You can get your time back. And this was, for me, about creating time and money freedom. Yes, we had some health challenges, and we've had incredible results within our family and those that we love around us who are willing to listen to us and try this product. But really what it's done for us more than anything is to create a lifestyle that we only used to dream of creating. And it can actually do that for you if you just give it a go, give it a try, and join a team that can help you achieve that.
Dr. Walker, thank you so much for being so transparent with us and really elaborating on the reality of what a physician's life could look like, and just how much you've enjoyed the lifestyle that ASEA has offered you. Just really appreciate your honesty in this tonight, and we certainly thank you for all you have done to bless and change many, many lives. So with that, we're going to move on to Jerry White. Jerry White is a retired PT researcher of Shriners Children's Hospital, also responsible for building their gait analysis lab. He was actually flown all over the world to gain access to build that lab. And Jerry's also been an adjunct professor of biomechanics, physiology, and anatomy at Eastern Washington University here in the Spokane, Washington area. He has also been involved in sports medicine and has been a coach of swimmers and triathletes. He's just an amazing man, and he lives here in the Spokane, Washington area. So Jerry, are you with us? There you are.
I'm here, and thank you, Gina. What a delight to be with all these people that are focused on something much bigger than ourselves. When I was introduced to ASEA, I had gone through some crazy changes. I'm a kind of an idealist, a dreamer, someone who had an opportunity to work incredibly hard for some really great visions over the course of my life. And a lot of times, by the end of those efforts, for example, in my lab, it was a true research lab that was doing very significant cutting edge research. We were discovering special things, but one day they decided they just wanted to collect data instead of think about the future. I was just privileged to be a part of some very, very significant high level athletics where you get to chase what's possible to become, to grow. When I first saw ASEA, I came at it from a little bit different vantage point. I, like many of you, was one who works for the sake of working and working till you drop, and to the detriment of my family. I was so focused on the good that we could do and the teaming that we could do to make a difference that I oftentimes forgot the team at home. What this has provided us with is an absolutely phenomenal way to gather together with a group of people with the ideals of taking something so amazing to the field, into the world, and yet get compensated for it vastly more than was ever possible when all the work we did was owned by another entity. So in my particular experience, got to a point where it was down to zero income, but looking for the next kind of windmill to tilt and dream to go after. And the big dream for me was to try to become balanced and become better, and to take a whole lot of people with us when we did that. When I first got a chance to see ASEA, I got to meet a primary visionary, Vertus Norton, who really was bringing this to the world. And through that acquaintance, I was working too hard, too focused on really sort of duty to somebody else, but really not growing individually. I saw people who were living at a much higher level. They were making a bigger difference. They were learning to work together to accomplish something that we couldn't do individually. I bought into it completely and totally. In this short 6-year period, we've gone from zero income in the family to dozens and dozens of times more income than we ever made in a single year. But that wasn't the goal. The goal was to achieve time. And at this point, it's staggering to get past constantly thinking about trying to pay the bills and meet the criteria, but to be able to be done and to move forward and to take a team with us. For me, the future is incredible. To teach people how much they matter, to work together to accomplish something, and to work with a team that is allowed to be free, to be around the ideas of freedom, of being able to gather together and overcome obstacles. You can't imagine what it's like to be around people that are forward-thinking, hopeful, and making a difference and change. I invite all of you to take a shot at looking inside your soul and say, when it's all said and done, can we look back? I certainly can now, much more than I ever could, and say the good that we did, what we accomplished, and what we can pass on as a legacy to our families could never have been done in anything that I learned in school. It only had to be done with a purpose and a structure like ASEA. Thank you all for having me. Gina, so proud of who you are and what you become, and all the rest of you, thank you for being a part.
Jerry White, thank you so much for such a heartfelt story that you shared with us tonight with your experience with ASEA. And we thank you for all you do in bringing about this technology, this breakthrough technology to the world and to all the people's lives that you have touched personally. So thank you so much for your contribution here. So next we're going to move into our final speaker tonight. I'm proud to introduce you to Dr. Foster Malmed, who has been a chiropractor and applied kinesiology specialist for 35 years, which 5 of those years were in a New York hospital. Dr. Malmed has been utilizing ASEA Redox very successfully for almost 9 years, including bringing ASEA into that hospital and successfully actually for his 5-year tenure there. Dr. Malmed is on ASEA's medical professional board, and he is on the medical board of a national orthotics company, and along with his wife, Terry, was awarded ASEA's first Business Builders of the Year award. So very honored to have you with us tonight, Dr. Foster Malmed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gina, and thank you everyone for being on this call. The panelists, what an honor to be on here with the caliber, the likes of these people. Is just this is a dream, it's a vision coming true, and thank you all. Thanks for being here. So our story started simply enough. This was a product and a business that I wanted absolutely nothing to do with. I actually started having my wife and I utilize the product just to shut somebody up. I was attained my dream to be the hospital chiropractor. It took me 27 years to be a chiropractor in a hospital. It wasn't easy. And when I got there, I'd only been there for a few months when I was introduced to this technology. And we were told that it was going to be an athletic product. And my wife had a very serious health challenge that she had had for many years. And it didn't matter how much Eastern and Western medicine we threw at it, nothing helped her. So I had a very, very challenged wife. And that was a sad time here for a long time. And she went on this product, and within days, she had a new life. And she was singing and shopping and cooking. And I got my wife back, and my children got their mom back. And that caught my interest, even though it was a salt water-based network marketing product from Salt Lake City. And I was going to think about possibly bringing that into a conservative New York hospital where I had attained my dream. And that would have been stupid on its face. So we needed to meet the people who were behind this company, the atomic medical physicist, the founders, the executives, and it was beyond a dream come true. The caliber, the principles, the ethics, it was just incredible. And for a skeptical New York chiropractor in a hospital, it actually made me think this might be possible. So I came back to the hospital. I put 5 patients with the same condition as my wife, and they all had the same response. Some took 3 days, some took 3 months, but I first got paid in hugs and tears and laughter for people who had no hope. Then one of my dearest, funniest, most charismatic patients came in, and he was given a prognosis that he wasn't going to be around much more than a month or 2. And that was 8 years ago, and he's now still fine and appreciative, and we've had lots of hugs and tears. So this is really about a moral imperative, and why are we here in the first place? If we're not here to help others, why are we here? So as I saw what was happening around me, I decided to bring this in full time into the hospital. And I thought they could try to throw me out, but as some of the doctors have already mentioned, the amount of research behind this technology is vast. It is defensible. And we have the testimonials, and they are just an extension of this amazing science. It's there. You can be steered there. So as I saw that and realized I needed to look at this more, and as I was living my dream in the hospital in New York as a chiropractor, the problem was that I was an in-network chiropractor. So for those of you who are practitioners, that's doom, I assure you. So as my payments each month were going down, and as I would earn an amount of money, an insurance company would say, well, we see that you earned this, and we'll send that to you, about 20% of it. You can have that in your bank tomorrow, or we're going to fight with you about it, and maybe you'll get it in a year. And I realized that I no longer had any power in my business, and I was going to lose it all. So my income was dropping. My hours of working was increasing. The days of the week that I had to work were increasing. I had to work every Saturday. I used to take off Wednesdays and Saturdays, no more. My stress level was increasing. My income was decreasing. But as my patients were improving, money started to come in. Now, it's important to know that my wife and I said, we're never doing network marketing. We are not interested in something like that. That was my ignorance. She will admit that was her ignorance. As we saw money starting to come in because we were changing lives, because we swore we were only going to help people with their health, we were not going to talk about money until we did more research and found out this business model is brilliant. In my business in the hospital, I didn't have residual income. I didn't have leverage income. I was trading time for money, as Dr. Silverman had mentioned, and it was not good. As that money came in, we realized maybe this was the answer. Maybe if we do this right, and we had no idea what we were doing with network marketing, other than we knew we had to learn from someone. So we went to somebody, we learned what an upline was, and we called our upline and said, okay, we get that this might be a possibility for us to have time and money freedom and get our lives back. How do we do it? And we were taught. And it was an amazing team concept where everybody comes together to help everyone. So as we learned that this was really an amazing business model with amazing people behind it, now after this is our 9th year, I don't have to worry about my mortgage. I don't worry about my car payments. I used to kill myself to make myself a retirement plan because nobody was giving me a retirement plan. But when you have residual income of 5 figures, 6 figures, and possibly more, why do you need a retirement plan if you know that that's what's going to come in each and every month? The stress level, the burden comes down, and we've done this part-time. I love being a chiropractor. I love working with patients. I don't know that I'll ever give it up. I absolutely enjoy it. Retirement doesn't mean not doing what I love, but if I do this part-time and build something that's going to be huge for my wife and I and for our children, that is an amazing thing that can be accomplished with this company, I assure you. Now, for those of you out there who don't have perfect health, I know this is really built around teaching you that this business model is the greatest business model that you will ever see. I had very challenged health. My genetics are horrific. I had a dad who had a major stroke at 49 that left him totally disabled, and he passed away at 53. I learned about this product when I was 53. And I had already positive findings for all you doctors out there. My echocardiogram was not good. My stress test wasn't good. My Doppler wasn't good. I was in trouble. And the longer I was on this product, the better I got. And the burden of poor health. So if you have an awesome retirement account, but you think every day, I may not be around to be able to use that retirement account, and I'm just going to leave it to my wife and my kids. That's not a great feeling. So now, after being on this product into my 9th year, I work out like I did 30 years ago. I'm going to be 62. I feel like I'm in my 30s, maybe even 20 sometimes. To take away the financial burden and the health burden and to prevent things. And I drink a lot of this stuff because we see what happens to people who drink this. I know I would have very bad issues genetically if I didn't do what I'm doing now. And to know that I can actually have a great future financially and my health, and I have that with my wife. We do it together. We can enjoy the world together. We've been on probably 30 trips with this company in the last 9 years. It is an amazing place. That is freedom. So to have health and wealth again is the dream, which can be your reality. Here with us at ASEA, we all hope that you'll join us. Thanks so much for your time. Thank you, Gina.
Dr. Foster Malma, thank you so much for sharing just, you know, from a successful chiropractor's view, what a difference you've made in the world and in your own personal life, and just for all those you know and love. So we just thank you so much. I'd like to thank all of our panelists tonight for joining us. And I'd just like to say that, you know, for those of you out there watching and listening, I'd like to invite you to take a deeper look, not only into just this technology, but into this company. You know, this company has been able to produce a groundbreaking technology. It's one technology that's literally tapped into $3 trillion markets, health and wellness, athletic performance and recovery, and skincare and anti-aging. And ASEA's 50,000 square foot production facility that they own and operate is ready to produce 800 million in this product. And we have 18 distribution centers set up globally, worldwide, ready to dispense into 31 countries. So we just need some help. We need more help. People like you that would like to join arms and join this dynamic team of people who really want to make a meaningful difference while making a living. So I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight, and we hope you've enjoyed the Doctors Speak Out. Thank you.